First of all, in 1880, everything was printed by hand. Nothing was automated at all. This is the front page of the very first paper that the Derry News printed. It was printed for December 3rd in 1880. It was actually 4 pages long, measuring 11 by 16, with 4 columns to a sheet. It was printed in a small shop in the rear of what was then called the Hubbard Shop in Derry Village. The population at the time was approximately 2,140 people. In less than a month after the publication, Nathaniel announced that over 600 subscriptions at $1 apiece had been sold.
Wow.
And that they would continue for 1 full year starting January 1881. At that time, the average length of a newspaper was 3.5 years. So I think this is a great tribute that 129 years later, the Derry News is still being printed.
Right.
Charles and Nathaniel were the first owners of the Derry News, with Charles taking over the whole operation 1 year later. Charles owned the paper from 1880 to 1903. He built the paper into a large and successful business, employing 7 people, printing 8 pages a week, measuring 15 by 22, and 6 columns to the page. We still use 6 columns to the page today for our news. And then I believe it was, not too many years later, that the very first power operated press came in, and the power was generated from the Chase Mill.
Yeah.
And they brought the power over by cord from the Chase Mill over. This actual pictures here are views of the news, the plant 40 years ago. So actually 40 years ago then would have been 1906. We've been here since, I believe, in the 1980s it moved up here. I don't know the exact date.